Jackson Lloyd set to make his commitment today, and a lot of the experts say that Alabama is about to nab that four-star offensive lineman out of Carmel, California. Another guy that Alabama may put on that offensive line, a five-star out of Denton, Texas, Ty Haywood, could be coming Alabama's way. We're going to talk about that and more right here on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. That's a way of saying, hey, you know what? I like the show. And we appreciate you guys being here. Share with your Alabama friends. Let's get this thing started. Welcome to the show and Roll Tide, everybody. Here's your invitation to our program. All right. What do you say, everybody? With Big Sexy Elmo on the mic, I'm Mick Gillespie. Great to have you guys here with us at Broadcaster Mick, at Brett Elmore Show for the Bama Tailgate Show. What's up, dude?
How are you, Mick? How you been enjoying this heat?
Oh, I love the heat. I love the heat. Boat's out of action right now, so I'm not in the water. But with that said, Alabama's heat is coming in recruiting, Brett. And at 2 o'clock today, Jackson Lloyd, who is the offensive lineman from Carmel, California. You may know him from movies like The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, Dirty Harry. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that was Clint Eastwood, who's from Carmel. You may know him from being a great offensive lineman and a four-star, and he may be coming Tuscaloosa's way.
You may know him from yesterday's show because we've been predicting this, that this guy was going to be announcing fairly soon. We got the word late yesterday that he would be announcing today at 2 o'clock Central. 6'7", 290 pounds from Carmel High School. And like we mentioned yesterday, I mean, we talked about him yesterday, that 80-plus wingspan and a three-sport athlete. You know, I was talking yesterday about, he's pretty darn good at basketball, but looks like football's going to go, he's going to take that path. And we'll know today at 2 o'clock. And probably if I had a little jingle jangle to put on it, put it on the Tide.
Yeah, go to Pearl River. If they took wagers for recruiting, you would put it on Alabama for Jackson Lloyd. Again, you know him. He's a three-sport star out at Carmel High School. When you talk about his ability to play football, basketball, and baseball. So first baseman in baseball. So coming quick. I mean, every time you turn around, this recruiting class ends up with another big-time prospect closing in on the top three in the country. Once they get to that point, they'll close in on number one. There's nothing but green grass ahead of Alabama, the way that they're recruiting right now, breaking towards the recruiting end zone. These guys just continue to pick up where Nick Saban left off. It's exciting. Now, here's a five-star. And this is an area where Alabama so far hasn't been able to bury it, right? Well, they did get Ryan Williams. That was last year. All right. Ty Haywood, five-star, Denton, Texas, is set to announce sometime soon, and Alabama is predicted to be the guy. Now, let me remind everyone, Brett, he was from Mississippi, moved to Denton, Texas. He's a Mississippi native. And it looks like maybe Alabama at the top of his list.
Yeah, a lot of folks yesterday, the recruiting experts, saying that, it looks like this guy may be going down Alabama, 6'5", 285 pounds. You see film and pictures of him. He just looks like a five-star athlete. I mean, this guy is stout, strong. He's got long reach. And he just, like I say, he looks like a five-star football player. He has got that imposing type figure when you look at him, and also a star track and field type guy. We talk about that a lot. A lot of these guys are dual sport athletes with track and field, unlike the guy we just talked about playing all three of the major sports, football, basketball, and baseball. But a lot of people are predicting that this guy, if things work out with his college career, this guy is a big time. He's going to play on Sundays, and he's going to be a star on Sundays. This is how good this guy is. So if we can land him, that's going to send some waves, because Oklahoma was after him really hard. Florida State, Texas, TCU, all those schools. You mentioned he's living out in Denton, Texas. He goes to Ryan High School. But hopefully soon we will hear more about and get a commitment from this guy.
Yeah. So it's exciting that's another guy that Alabama has started to really zero in on, and they're doing a nice job at the offensive line spot.
Yeah, they are. He's the 8th ranked player nationally. Now, what has got people talking is, he was really warmed up with Oklahoma, but he was supposed to officially visit Oklahoma this past weekend and did not make the trip. And that trip may not be rescheduled. Really comes as a surprise to a lot of the recruiting experts. And that's why a lot of folks are saying that, Alabama may have landed this guy.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out sometime soon, but honestly, that's exciting. I mean,
yeah,
could be another offensive lineman to add to the already pretty deep class, as this is going to be a passing offensive style of coaching staff that wants to get out there and move the ball. And you got to have offensive linemen that are able to go out there and block, open up holes and all that stuff. So that's what he's doing. Obviously a guy that played defense a lot, up until a couple years ago, and then switched to the O-line, and he's just become a force up there. So we'll find out. Now, some of these guys have committed, and then they take visits to other places, right? Well, what about Luke Metz? He's from Georgia, went to visit Georgia. Is he going to decommit from Alabama and go to Georgia?
No. He posted on Twitter yesterday, after a great visit with a great team, I'm still fully committed to the University of Alabama. And remember, this is the 3rd-ranked inside linebacker in the country. This guy, he's taken his visits, but and what does that say? I mean, boy, that's really a kick below the belt after you go to how do you think Georgia feels right now after that official visit over the weekend? And then the guy says, yeah, you know what? Roll Tide.
Yeah, Roll Tide, and it's glad to have him back, and and kind of feeling like, hey, I checked it out. I didn't like it, or it was fun, but it's not my place. And Metz, a linebacker commit coming to Alabama. So a lot of great news in football, and obviously we'll be paying close attention to Jackson Lloyd, seeing if he does make that commitment to Alabama later today. Now let's talk a little bit of basketball on the show. We're talking a lot of basketball, obviously with Alabama being the favorite to win the national championship. Alabama to play South Dakota State. Now, this seems like, when you look at it, you're like, hey, this should be an easy game. Now, the Jackrabbits are a good team. They make the tournament a lot, and they'll be at Coleman Coliseum on Sunday, December 29th. If you don't play this game the right way, you'll lose. Bama 3-0 against the Jackrabbits. But this is a team that could beat some major – they win games every year against, Power 5 conferences.
Yeah, this is a good add to the schedule. They went 25-12 last year. They finished 22-13 last year. But they won the Summit League. Then they made the tournament, and they got a number 2 draw with Iowa State, lost 82-65 in the opening round of the tournament. But this is, you had mentioned that this is a team that Alabama has had some experience with. They've played them 3 times. Remember back in 2012, I know that's been many, many moons ago, but it took Trevor Lacey hitting a buzzer beater to beat these guys, 70-67. But this is a good team, and looking forward to playing them. And this just adds to Alabama's non-conference schedule. With let's just run down it quickly. Everything starts, I think, November 11th against McNeese.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're at Purdue. You got Illinois and Birmingham. Then you're going out to Vegas for that big showcase on the 26th, 27th, and 29th.
Right.
You got Houston. Then you play either Rutgers or Notre Dame. Then on December, in December, we go to North Carolina. Creighton comes to town at North Dakota. Play Kent State at home and South Dakota State. So this is a non-conference schedule, and we talk about it all the time that this will get you ready for March.
Yeah.
You play tough competition like that, it gets you ready for March. And as of yesterday, the updated odds for Alabama to win the national championship on the hardwood, according to Bet Online, AG is Alabama 8-1, leading the entire nation.
That's crazy, and it's just crazy to think about. But
and I hadn't even talked to you about this, Vic, but I have a friend of mine. He's a member of the Red Elephant Club, and they met not too long ago, and he was talking about it over the weekend, and we were talking about Alabama. And he said he went and Coach DeBoer was talking, and then they had their social time and all this other stuff. And after DeBoer gave his speech, they had a little Q&A, and the first question was asked, and it was a guy asked if he had talked to Coach Oates about his recruiting success and getting some tips from Oates. And he laughed and he says, "When's the last time an Alabama football coach has been asked that?"
Yeah,
probably
right.
Never.
Yeah. How crazy is that?
Yeah.
So funny. It's where we are right now. Two really good programs. Obviously basketball having its heyday in Tuscaloosa. So really exciting. See what happens here, but the schedule's still coming together and some really good games. It just feels like Nate Oates wants to make every game a game that's against a competitive team.
And you may come out of the non-conference schedule and you may be an Alabama fan sitting there saying, "Oh man, that record looks rough." No. Just let it ride and let's get to March.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, look, Brett, this is the time of the show where we look to you to take us to a different place.
Oh yeah.
But before we go there, though, I want to remind everyone
where you want to go, Nate.
We're going to today and history. So we'll be doing that here in a second, right?
Were we going to go somewhere? I mean, we're going to go to Las Vegas soon and to Pearl River Resort, which I know you're going to talk about.
Yeah, we're going to Pearl River Resort, and you and I are going to Vegas. But Pearl River Resort over in Philadelphia, Mississippi, home to the Timeout Sports Lounge, which is Vegas-style gambling legally. I'm not saying go out there and bet your house and your mortgage payment. I'm saying if look, because that's not what you're supposed to do. Just take money, have a good time. Your pizza money. The money that you would use, to have a good time, a night out. Go out, put it on some games. You got table games and slots. You're a big roulette guy. They have all that there. You also have Dancing Rabbit Golf Course, which is the Augusta that you can play, which is really fantastic. And if you spend $50 wagering in the sports book, you can play Dancing Rabbit for $40, which is really a fantastic deal. Big and Rich and Gretchen Wilson are coming. Boys to Men, Brian McKnight, Rodney Carrington, they'll be there. Water Park as well. Spa. It's just a fun place. It's an hour and a half from Tuscaloosa, but it's pretty close to anywhere in the state.
Hey, Mick, when we go, are we going to the water park?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
You ready to get on some of those slides?
Just yeah. Are you going to film it for the show? If you'll do that.
Yes.
Remember when Fred Sanford went to Las Vegas and he was in the fountain getting all the quarters and pennies and everything that people, because he had lost all of his money, trying to get back to El Segundo.
Yeah, I don't remember that, but that'd be funny. I can picture that. I might have to go Google it and watch it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. When we come back, Brett Elmore takes over on the show.
To Pearl River Resort. They call him Big Sexy. Coming at you from the Walker County. Jasper is his hometown. He's known for giving free rundowns. Oh, Big Sexy. Throwing out those Alabama thoughts. Sneaking out your mom's window without getting caught. It gives you the XPs, but Big Elmo is here to please. Big Sexy Elmo on the Bama Tailgate Show.
Sneaking.
It's been hot. The key, Mick, is hydration. I drink about a gallon of water a day. And it's good. It's good for you, I think. Can't you get water poisoning?
I think, but you got to drink a lot of it for that.
Oh, really? Okay, so 2 gallons is pretty good.
Yeah.
Should I be all right with that?
Yeah. No, you should.
I go to the restroom a lot. You know, I was reading in my stuff that the average time you should spend urinating is 25 seconds.
Really?
Yeah. Are you over or under?
I'm over, probably. I'm gonna have to time it next time.
Okay. Next time you go to the men's room, just time it. And for scientific fact, the next time you go to the floor of Bama, just go into the men's room and carry you a stopwatch and start timing everyone and just say you're doing research for the show.
What if I did that with a referee's uniform on?
A referee's uniform and a time. Yeah, go. All right, now you're over. You're over. What would be bad is you would be in there doing that, and then I'd be in the ladies' room, and then it'd be complete chaos. All right. Today is June 18th, 2024. Not a whole lot of birthdays on the list, but we've got one big one on the list today. Former Beatle Paul McCartney is 82 today.
Oh, man, that is a big one. I mean, it's him and Ringo that are left from the original Beatles. Honestly, still, I don't understand why someone would have shot John Lennon. I had a poster of John Lennon in my bedroom as a kid. I had him and Muhammad Ali, and it's just hard to believe. I never understood it. It was a poster, and it had the years he was alive, and everyone was so shocked. It was like the world got maybe the greatest musician ever, one of them anyway, stolen from him by some crazy guy. But McCartney's kind of lived on, and when he played halftime at the Super Bowl, I thought he did a great job. He's still out there. I haven't seen him in person, but I probably should before.
That was one of my biggest regrets. He several years ago, he played Atlanta out at is it Chastain Park? I think.
Oh yeah, Chastain. I saw Willie Nelson there.
He played there, and I was going to go, and then I backed out. And that is one of those regrets that I have, is not going to see Paul McCartney. Also celebrating a birthday today is country music singer Blake Shelton is 48 today.
Blake Shelton, from isn't he on
He's on The Voice.
The Voice now? Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's good on the show. He's a country guy, right? But isn't he from Australia, or is that somebody else? That's you know what? I've been to his bar in Nashville and in Gatlinburg.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. Not great, good.
Not great, but good.
Yeah.
I forgot to ask you, favorite Beatles song?
Yeah, man, going back to the Beatles. Well, first, I think that the question I have for you is your favorite Beatle. Who's your favorite Beatle?
I'd say McCartney.
See, and McCartney was like kind of the happy-go-lucky, in love
Right.
type of guy, and me, I'm totally Lennon. I
Yeah.
like Lennon. There's so much deep to him, and kind of this tragic, upbringing and this amazing life, but so thought out. I like all of them, but George Harrison is so underrated. I mean,
Yeah, he is.
absolutely underrated. He was fantastic too, and Ringo's okay, but by far to me it's Lennon, and then second would be McCartney. My favorite Beatles song is "A Day in the Life."
That's a great tune. No, what
Is that song about suicide? Is that what that song is about? I remember you talking about it on your radio show one time, that it was banned in Europe because in England, because it was about suicide, and they didn't let them play it for a while. Back in the day, obviously.
back in the day, yeah.
It's so deep, and it's so entailed, and it makes you think every time you hear it. But I love that one. Hey Jude's a great song. I'm more of the older Beatles, the younger, happy-go-lucky, Hard Day's Night Beatles. That's not my thing.
Yeah. I would say Let It Be or The Long and Winding Road.
Yeah. While My Guitar Gently Weeps.
Yeah, that's a good one. Man, there's so many good ones. Those thing.
Yep.
Let's see. Ray LaMontagne is 51 today. Are you familiar with Ray?
I like Lemonade. Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah. Ray Strawberry LaMontagne is 51 today. No, he's a singer.
Okay.
And he plays down in Mobile a lot. What is it? The Soul Kitchen down there?
Really? I have to go check him out. What's he play?
Oh man, he's really, really good.
They like blues?
Trouble. No, I think trouble.
Oh yeah, I do know that guy. Okay.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah.
It is his birthday today.
Happy birthday. Sorry I didn't remember you.
It's okay, Mick. It's all right. It's okay. If you're looking for something to celebrate today, it is International Panic Day, which
Widespread panic?
No, not widespread panic. The kind of panic I take meds for.
Oh man, yeah.
So we'll, everybody stay calm today, okay? We have enough crazy out there. There's plenty to go around. Okay? Today's International Panic Day and also International Picnic Day. You ever been on a picnic? Do you like going on picnics?
Man, when I was a kid, my grandparents had it was called the picnic grounds. And we would they'd host the family and friends to this picnic grounds, like have like a big campfire and a swing that would like swing over a creek and a pond and all that stuff. It was great, man. That's about the extent of it. My grandmother would cook and you'd eat it under the pavilion that was there. But like, as far as like me just like heading out and like rolling out, like a blanket and, opening up the picnic basket, I haven't really done that, but I'd be up for it. I'd be cool with that. It sounds like a good kind of fun afternoon. What about you?
No, I don't care for
Don't forget your condiments.
Yeah. Nah, I'm not too hip on it. Too hot right now too. But each their own. I'm glad you'll enjoy it though. I'll call your wife and tell her that you said it on the show, and you can take the whole family out on a picnic. Be fun. International Sushi Day.
Yeah, I love sushi.
I know you do.
I do. And when I grew up, we didn't eat sushi. I mean, we were pretty poor, so we didn't. That wasn't something that we ever ate.
Vienna sausages.
That was
the closest thing to sushi you was getting.
Man, I remember going to
fish.
college and being like cultured, and being like, oh, we're gonna eat some sushi. Like what, and then
Yeah.
and I don't know, man. Like I just try to be open minded. I was in Hawaii for a semester, like an exchange semester, and we surfed and would eat all the food that the local people would give me, and a lot of the people from the mainland wouldn't do that. But I just kind of felt like if these guys came to here, if they said he came to Alabama and they were at in Tuscaloosa, or they were down here on the Gulf Coast, and we were like, hey, we want to take you to the Bama, and I want you to try these raw oysters, or I want you to try this barbecue, what is this stuff, or I want you to try. I mean, think about all the stuff we eat here.
Well, it's sort of like a Tua when he came.
Yeah,
He was talking about the foods. It is like, man, that fried chicken's good, and stuff like that.
Yeah, right. And they don't have that. So I think you just got to be open-minded, man, when you go somewhere else and kind of indulge yourself into the culture and respect it. So love sushi, and I still love sushi. I mean, you talking about it, I'm thinking right now, like how good a spider roll would be. Have you ever had one of those, or a dynamite roll?
No, I never had one.
I love crabs, that. So that's a soft shell crab that is fried into a sushi roll, as a spider roll. But yesterday, took the family to this restaurant called Tamara's in downtown Fairhope, and had just an incredible soft shell crab sandwich.
Wow, that sounds really good.
So
yesterday you went to Tomorrow's.
Yeah, it was
kind of confusing, but I got you. And that's
I meant on Sunday. I meant on Sunday.
On Sunday. Wait a minute. One day you went there and Tomorrow's.
I went out for Father's Day and paid the bill.
Isn't that something?
It was great. It was a bit, it was fine.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're that kind of guy. You just wanted to spend it with family, and I appreciate that. We got a sushi place here in town. It was actually 2 weeks ago. It was being filmed for a True South episode on SEC Network.
Really? Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's inside of a gas station right next to the radio station.
Really? And it's that good?
And let me tell you, and Mick, when you come to visit, I want to take you to the gas station sushi place.
Hey, I'm down.
Because
I'll come to Jasper. I mean, look, I know all about Bullpen Steakhouse, and
yeah, but I gotta bring you into some Walker County culture. Need to get you. We'll get up that next morning, and we'll go get a cat head biscuit. Okay?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
All right. On this date in history, William Penn founded the city of Philadelphia, calling it the city of brotherly love. And whenever I hear the word brotherly love, I think of Brother Love from the
Brother Love, the wrestler.
Yeah.
I love you, and a lot of people are like,
I love you, Nick.
Yeah, I've been to Philadelphia. It is a tough city. They booed Santa Claus at an Eagles game, but and the weird thing is that it's called the city of brotherly love, and they're kind of known for the opposite.
Just being absolutely rude. 1873, Susan B. Anthony was fined $100 for attempting to vote.
Yeah, can you believe that? Like, some of the stuff that's kind of happened in the past is it's pretty crazy looking back now, but that seems ridiculous.
Yeah. Let's see what else happened this day. 1928, Amelia Earhart became the first woman to fly across the Atlantic Ocean as she completed a flight from Newfoundland to Wales in about 21 hours. And that was in an airplane and not on a broom.
Yeah, right. And the weird thing is trying to figure out, I see you, and is where she is now. Her plane went down, and they still haven't identified what happened to her plane. And there's a group
in the Bermuda Triangle.
Well, yeah, somewhere out there, and they think that there's people that are constantly looking for that plane, trying to figure out where it went down, because it could be intact under the water somewhere, and eventually they might find it. There's people that think that she actually crash landed on one of those islands that was occupied by the Japanese.
Now,
And then
how
maybe
come they
taken
haven't found
hostage.
that after all this time?
Because you're talking about a vast ocean. And
Yeah.
as much as we've explored the land, we haven't really explored the oceans at all. And you can really get deep. We have no idea really what's underneath our feet. You know what I'm saying? Like we haven't explored the earth. I mean, we have an idea what it is, but it's not like we've been able to go, you can't just go miles and miles into the earth's core, So I mean, there's still a lot of mysteries on this planet, and that's definitely one of them,
So
and
all those cartoons that I watched growing up were fake when they were when they were digging to China or something. They'd come out in China on the other side. Do you think you could dig enough to go to China?
um
Mick's totally lost on me now.
yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like we're like, like they start
Like the Looney
digging.
Tunes. They'd be digging and then they end up in some Acapulco or somewhere. I don't know. 1977. I do know this. The Yankees outfielder Reggie Jackson half-heartedly went after a fly ball during a loss to the Boston Red Sox. It was taken out of the game by Billy Martin. The two then nearly came to blows in the dugout over it during an argument broadcast on national television.
Yeah, and I love Reggie Jackson. I told you guys the Reggie Jackson story. It's hard for me to not take up for Reggie because when I was a kid, I know maybe tooting my own horn, but it was one of the greatest moments of my childhood where he came out of the locker room to meet me. He had he was bandaged up with ice all over the place, but I'll never forget it. Like he came down and thank you to Father Carl in Boca now, but Baltimore back then for getting me to meet Reggie. Reggie was a winner, one with the A's, one with the Yankees, got a lot of World Series rings, but Billy Martin was a winner too, and you're talking about two guys that were like this because they had different styles of wanting to win. But when the game was on the line, you'd want Billy Martin to be your manager and you'd want Reggie Jackson to be in your lineup. They don't call you Mr. October for no reason.
No, they don't. And finally, 1983, 40 years ago, Dr. Sally Ride became the first American woman in space on the Challenger shuttle.
Yeah, I've got a few of these Challenger license plates from Florida that are up outside. The space shuttle obviously when the space shuttles, two of them blew up, it was terrible tragedy. Sally Ride, going up there, Krista McCullough, remember she was on the one that didn't make it. But you wonder in your life, like about the risks that you take, and taking risks sometimes turns out great, like Sally Ride, or could turn out horrible, like Krista McCullough.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, those risks have gotten us to where we are right now, a step further as mankind. So you it's always tough to do something that you haven't done before, but the only way that you're ever going to be great is by doing it. And when someone like her, we're still talking about her here, years later.
40 years later. Yeah, that's true. I had a story yesterday on my show about a bear that had broke into a house, 4 or 5 different houses. And so I was going to ask you, since you live there on the coast, would you rather get eaten by a shark or get mauled by a bear?
Yeah, you keep asking me this. I hate this question. I think this is the worst question you've ever asked, right? I don't want to get eaten by anything. Like, I guess if I had to pick, it would be a shark over a bear. But I don't want to
drown. I don't want to drown. I don't want to drown.
You won't. You'll be in that you'll be cut in half so fast. Like that just awful way to end the show. Thanks, buddy.
Well, see, this is
hey, tell everybody how they can ask themselves questions like this on your show every day?
Monday through Friday, 6 to 10, WJLX 1015.com and on all major apps.
All right. Look, guys, we're going to give tickets away to Steve, Boys to Men, Big and Rich, coming up here on the show.
I take the mayor.
And maybe that's how we'll do it. We'll ask you guys with your
Would you rather?
Would you rather
questions or what they are?
like something my son would ask me. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with us. Another show in the books. Roll Tide.